third straight divisional matchup for the Chargers. They've now played every other team in their division once, and they've won all three, this time against the Broncos at home. Kind of an interesting game. The Chargers feel like they dominated the first half, but just didn't really execute in key moments, and then they blow coverage at the end of the half to give up a touchdown. And then it's a J.K. Dobbins revenge drive right out of halftime, and suddenly they're losing. And then the offensive line injuries start piling up, and they can't protect Justin Herbert. And it kind of feels like, oh, maybe the Broncos are going to steal this game, even though it kind of feels like they've been outplayed. Then Justin Herbert comes through. He's trying to establish this clutch narrative for himself. They score the touchdown to tie it. Defense comes up with the stop. They drive down, and they actually get their field goal off, unlike some other teams this week, and they win 23-20. Sanders, I'm going to go to you first as the Chargers fan. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, well, after having watched all the noon kickoff blocked field goals, I cannot tell you how nervous I was sitting here waiting for the game-winning field goal, because it's like you just start to like see it in your head, and that's all you can imagine is that it's going to get blocked. When in reality, those blocked field goals are few and far between. Couple of big takeaways. I mean, the Chargers did look good for a lot of the game, and then as Tucker pointed out a couple weeks ago, when they get shut down in the second half, it's kind of crazy how the last 2-minute drill, they come out and the offense just says, I mean, we can't be stopped. And you see that in the NFL. We see it every weekend, which is very impressive and speaks to the level that they play at. The Najee Harris injury is really, really unfortunate. He's been our best running back through 3 games, averaged 4.7 yards a carry Sunday, and then had an 82.8 offensive grade from PFF prior to his injury. Immediately we watched it. I didn't realize what happened. I thought he tripped, and you're over here going, oh no. I'm like, what happened? I thought he just like tripped, and then Justin Herbert was like stepping over him, so he just like went into the fetal position to so he didn't trip him.
Sure.
And then I saw the replay. Man, that Achilles, maybe it's just recency bias, but the angle from behind, it's like the worst I think I've seen. I know there were some bad ones in the NBA, and I feel like Achilles injuries are all pretty level as far as like severity. Your Achilles is snap, but like visually, man, that thing like made me a little sick to my stomach. The wide receivers looked really good. It's unfortunate for those of y'all for you who's invested in Ladd McConkey, but I like not having to be the main guy. Not because I don't I would love for him to be better, more involved than he is, but the fact that I think he's good and he's not involved means that we have other guys who kind of improved and surpassed him, which is not a bad thing.
AKA Aronde Gadsden.
Yeah, and then also Quentin Johnston finding his hands is huge. So it's I'm not too upset about him not being as involved this year, because I don't think it's a regression from him. I think it's an improvement from other positions, bringing back Keenan Allen and him.
I think it'll balance out some too.
Yeah, and then absolutely the Aronde Gadsden breakout game was kind of crazy. 5 receptions, 46 yards. Quentin Johnston had 6 receptions for 89 yards. He had the one, which I've pointed this out for quarterbacks, like hits, and now this. He gets hit, he gets wrapped up, and he gets backed up 2 yards, and then the defender just kind of lets him go. Because in my opinion, we've gotten to the point in the NFL where you have to toe the line between getting you might get a flag if you throw him to the ground at that point, trying to tackle him. And then, they let him go because they backed him up for 2 or 3 yards, and they don't want to get an unnecessary roughness, and then he scrambles out for an extra 20 after the catch. I kind of hate that, even as a Chargers fan, very grateful for the extra yardage. But I think we see it in the pocket, and now we see it, across the middle of the field where guys are pulling punches to avoid flags, and then a quarterback breaks a sack. It's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's no, the D lineman doesn't know what to do. He can't hit him high, he can't hit him low, he can't drive through him. Your target for a good tackle is so small that I think we're starting to see more and more incredible broken tackles in the pocket, because D lineman is a half-hearted, I'm just going to hit you and hope you fall over.
Yeah.
And then it's sometimes, with Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, a lot of the time they will just fall over. And then sometimes they're not. It's in the big play. It's all kinds of messed up, not knowing how hard you can play defense right now. I think the Broncos got punished by it on that play, and I hate it.
I can agree with you about the in-the-pocket stuff and QBs on the sideline. Not so much wide receivers out in the open. I just don't have the same level of protection. I just finished the play.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get the flag.
I agree he should have finished the play, but also, I think it was pretty clearly the way he had him wrapped up and back him up. It was I think that, I've stopped his forward progress. The play is over.
Coaches tell you all the time,
Yeah.
6U, 8U, 10U, 12U, you play through the whistle, play to the whistle. You hear no whistle. Why are you stopping the play? That's just kind of my opinion on that.
No, I agree. But it's still, I think it just like is another example of what we're seeing on the way defenses are refereed, translating to other parts of the field. Not a big fan of seeing that. We talked about it earlier. The rookie running back struggles. Omarion Hampton not being chief among them. Chief among them, I would say, is Ashton Genty, but being up there with the best of them. He's hasn't cracked 4 yards per carry yet in a game, and he's played 3. He played well after the Najee Harris injury, but like didn't like blow you away, which is kind of what you want to see from a running back when you spend a first-round pick on him. So I'm pretty underwhelmed with him. I don't think that the offensive line is entirely the problem. I get that like it's definitely not the best run blocking offensive line, and then losing was it Joe Alt or the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Rashawn Slater's gone.
Slater and Joe Alt.
And then Mekhi Becton got hurt in that game as well.
Poked in the eye. So would love to see better play from a running back when you spend a first-round pick on him, but I do think that the passing offense is good enough that that's not going to hinder us too much. Now, if the passing offense falters, it could become problematic, but would love to see more from him there. But yeah, those are like the big things.
Sure.
JP?
I think you're being way too pessimistic of your own team, honestly. I thought the Chargers played excellent, and it was, I think, an incredible showing of another way this team can win football games. Herbert was great, 300 passing yards. They're passing the ball so much. He attempts 47 passes in this game, and I think that's more of, if there's anything to be concerned about, it's that we're attempting so many passes. But as about 20% of NFL fans, and then the extra 1% that are Chargers fans, you trust Justin Herbert to do that. You think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and so you trust him to throw the ball 47 times. And with the lack of turnovers he's had in the regular season over the past few years, you're not worried about him turning the ball over in big spots. I thought Omarion Hampton was actually pretty good. The production he got both in the receiving and in the rushing game I thought was good, and I think it's something good to look at going forward. You got to remember it's his third NFL football game.
I think the biggest thing for him right now is I'm not sure they fully trust him to like do everything. Everything's pretty vanilla with him, and that's going to limit him somewhat. But yeah, you continue.
Yeah, I completely agree. The weapons that apparently Justin Herbert has, that is like that's the flashing red light of, oh my God, we've got what we need, because the defense has been insane.
Yeah.
They forced 5, I think the Broncos had 4 or 5 3-and-outs or they had 6 3-and-outs in the game. I think 4 or 5 in the first half. So just shutting down Bo Nix and Sean Payton in that offense, that's like when your defense playing that well, and then the weapons are providing as they are. I know the Chargers only won by 3, but it felt like they won by way more than that. Like the fact that the Broncos were even this close in the game is such a great statement of how good that defense is, and how well they pressure the quarterback, which they were all over Herbert. But Herbert, getting sacked, that means just more yardage for him to get, I guess. So it helps him statistically. But I think you're being too pessimistic. I thought that was an excellent performance. And then Omarion Hampton's going to get there. He pretty much stayed healthy outside of Mekhi Becton getting poked in the eye, as you said.
Najee Harris.
And Najee Harris, of course. But he's back at running back, and I think if there's one thing like Jim Harbaugh knows, it's running backs.
Yeah.
And so that helps you trust the Omarion Hampton pick, and it also helps you trust trust that he's going to find another running back that can provide that, whether that's Hassan Haskins or a free agent.
Was Haskins at Michigan?
He was
or
a
even a
running
trade,
back.
yes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even be that remotely worried about that going forward. Like Gus Edwards, who was on the team last year, he's a free agent right now, so they could sign Gus Edwards. He already knows the system. I'd look at that potentially if I'm a Charger. from the Chargers organization. So I think you're being a little pessimistic about the Chargers. Thought they were really impressive. This is a game that, so I had it up there in one screen by itself, but I also was watching Red Zone. If you were watching just Red Zone on Sunday, you would have had no clue this game was really going on. I think they only got shown into like the fourth quarter because there were 7 punts in a row in the first half, 4 or 5 of those being 3 and out. So it's just a snooze fest of a first half. But I watched it still. But like I feel like much of the public didn't get to see how good the defenses were playing, and they must have just thought that the offenses were that bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the Justin Herbert throw, I didn't speak about that earlier. I don't know if you were about to get there. It was crazy.
Yes.
Watching that was awesome. It was the drive to tie it. They're down 20-13, goes down, is under pressure, rolls out to his left, and has a Charger. A Bronco. Was it Benito?
Yeah,
Benito in his face, and rolling to his left, he like turns his body. It kind of like the Sam Levitt throw a little bit.
Yes.
Where he has to like turn his body to like, and there's no hip in it. It's all
His
just
hips
Sam
arms.
Levitt
are
minus the jump.
Yeah,
his
minus
hips
the
are
jump.
facing the end zone, and he throws it behind Benito, essentially, like behind his helmet on his opposite side, and it's on the money after escaping a sack. As I texted, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. That's just one of those
Keenan
plays.
Allen makes a great catch too.
Yes.
I mean, he's covered.
That's just one of those plays that only those kind of quarterbacks can make, the athletic freaks. And Justin Herbert made that in the biggest spot in the game. So all the credit to him there.
I love the optics too of like Keenan Allen's catching in the end zone and Justin Herbert's literally like lying on his side, like facing the other end zone. So he has no clue. Like he gets that ball off, gets hit, goes down, and I'm just like I'm so curious what he's thinking in that moment. Is he like he
I
probably
bet
let
he knows he got it.
You
like,
wait.
I think
You
when
wait
it
to
leaves
hear
your hand,
the crowd roar?
crowd
Yeah.
of 30% Chargers fans cheer.
Well, when it left his hand, I'm sure he knew the pass was good. But Moss, I think, was guarding him.
yeah,
Was all like he was right there, so
Yeah.
there was no guarantee it was going to be complete. But that was a sick play. I do want to talk about the other QB in this game, Bo Nix.
yeah.
Has struggled to start this season. Not his best showing. I think there's even a clip of him on the sidelines in this game, and if you can read lips, he basically is like, I missed so many chances today or something like that.
Yeah.
He overthrew a couple deep balls, and they were so like tantalizingly close as well, like hitting the receiver's outstretched fingertips as they're lunging for him and stuff like that. He's just not played great, in my opinion, up to this point in the season. What are y'all's thoughts on him?
He is graded out as the 36th best quarterback in the NFL, according to PFF, through 3 weeks. There have only been 36 quarterbacks that have started NFL games. He is the worst quarterback in the league, according to PFF, right now through 3 weeks. I completely agree as well. He was like he missed opportunities, of course, but on top of that, like it's just been so questioned. What is going on with this offense? Like that was, I thought, supposed to, at least in the people that were making cases for the Broncos to win the division, to make the playoffs again, to be a sneaky good team in the AFC, it was on the shoulders of Bo Nix, Sean Payton. It was not on the shoulders of the defense. I didn't see a single take out there. It was like, this is a championship level defense, which it is. It was all Bo Nix, and he's, as I said, worst quarterback according to PFF. They have 6 3-and-outs against the Chargers on Sunday. That's just disappointing with the weapons that they have. Cortland Sutton gets going, but you don't involve really anybody else outside of that. Bo only completed 14 passes.
Yeah,
that's in a Sean Payton offense. That's really surprising. Sean Payton is known for high completion percentages. Drew Brees is one of the highest completing percentage quarterbacks ever, and obviously Drew is known for passing for a ton of yards. It's second, or I think he's the leading. No, he's second. He's definitely second passing yards all time. But like Evan Ingram is not involved again.
he was hurt, I believe, this game, but he's still just been not there the first couple weeks either.
R.J. Harvey, second-round
R.J.
pick,
Harvey.
gets 2 carries for 2 yards.
Is not being involved really whatsoever. That's a disappointing for what the hype was there, and then the level of draft pick they spent on him. And so I'm just disappointed, I think. I'm not surprised, though, because I'm not that high on Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with Sean Payton, though, and I'm disappointed in that with how it's gone so far this season. Maybe it's the fact that they're playing, good defenses. Titans kind of have a good defense. The Colts have been good defensively through 3 weeks. And in this game, the Chargers defense was elite. They're also like in these games too. Like the Colts one, they cheat and they would have won the game.
Yeah.
They end up giving up a field goal. This one they lose to a game-winning field goal. So it's the sky's not falling in Denver. But you've missed, as Bo said, you've missed 2 opportunities. You could be 3-0 right now, and you're 1-2 instead. And it's just going to be uphill from here.
Yeah, I was going to make that exact same point because right now they've beat the Titans and it wasn't a pretty game, but it's your game 1. Maybe there's some rust to knock off, and then now you've lost to the Colts by 1 in a very unfortunate manner, and then you lose to the Chargers. So now your 2 losses, not to defend the Broncos because they have made a lot of mistakes, but now your 2 losses are to 2 3-0 teams. The Chargers, who now are looking like they have one of the best defenses in the country, and the offense is just clicking. Who knows what the ceiling for that team is? And then the Colts, I feel like we don't necessarily know. They've been impressive, but also they've played the Titans and the Dolphins. So It's just we don't really know yet. What we've seen has been a little concerning with the misses, but as far as they may have just played 2 really good AFC teams that we weren't expecting to be as good as they are in the Colts and Chargers.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but also, and as a thing, we love this Chargers defense, or at least I do, and so they don't give anyone any easy completion. So if this was like Bo's one bad game this season, I wouldn't be too worried. But even in our prediction, I said he was the most likely sophomore quarterback, in my opinion, to have that token sophomore slump. Now, there were only so many options because some of the rookies played bad last year or barely played, so you can't really slump if you weren't good.
Yeah.
But it's just not been smooth sailing for him at all, and that really caps the ceiling of this team to being this darling team that everyone's projecting to make this jump and be markedly better than last year to a team that I think is going to end up the way their course is right now through 3 games of the season, how they're playing, end up in a very similar spot that they did last year. And that's just going to be disappointing to a lot of people that really love this team. I mean, you were very high on this team. You almost picked them to win the division. Would you say you've been disappointed through 3 weeks?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So it's just not been what you want from Bo at all.
Especially when you see, kind of like with the Chargers, how guys have passed McConkey. The Broncos have had other guys who are playing well. Is it Marvin Mims or KJ Hamler? It's one of those wide receivers.
Troy Franklin's played well as well.
Thank you.
Mims
so there's
was
just
good last week.
there are wide receivers that they've got guys who are playing well, and so it's kind of why can't the guys who played well last year be playing well at the same? I don't know. It's just a really disappointing outcome of other guys taking a step forward, which is what you needed to compete in the AFC West. And instead of that elevating the play, you have other guys regressing, and now you're looking at potentially performing worse than last year. So, yeah, pretty disappointed so far.
It's also just I agree the offense as a whole hasn't looked great. I don't think it's all on Bo. And then they just continually have penalty issues. Think about the leverage call that lost them the game, which it was the right call. It's not like they got cheated out of it. And they had 10 penalties in this game against the Chargers.
Yeah.
They're just not playing very sound football either. And that's not, even though I wasn't as high on them as some people, I didn't expect that from them this season.
Yeah, and on Sunday, for me, like I said, 6 3-and-outs, but they were 3-and-outs in the biggest spots. The start of the game, when you need the momentum, the first 3 drives are 3-and-out. And at the end of the game, it's a 3-and-out. They get the field goal to start the fourth quarter to go up 20-13, and then 3-and-out with the ball up 7, and a 3-and-out with the ball tied at 20. That's what is on top of it is the most disappointing, because Sean Payton is a creative play caller, and those are the spots when you should be using your best plays. When it's the first quarter, it's your scripted 15 plays, and those are the 15 plays you've practiced in practice multiple times throughout the week, and at the end of the game. And that was a problem on Sunday. It was a problem in the Titans game even, just questionable decisions at the end of the game. You're in field goal range, but you go for it on 4th down, and you throw it a deep ball down the field on like 4th and 2. In the Colts game, just like a few missed opportunities in the second half to score points. But let's stop beating a dead horse. They're just not playing to the level that we're expecting,
100%.
and especially the people that have picked them to win the division or be a dark horse or whatever. They're playing nowhere close to that level. Because, like I said, all of those takes were based off of Bo Nix year 2. And right now it's looking a lot more like Mac Jones year 2.
Yeah.
And that is not where you want to be.
Not at all.
Last thing I'll say, the talent's still there. The defense is still so good. They have so much time to regroup and turn this thing around. But they just got to do it. Like, go do it. Who do they play next week?
Sorry, they will
No, you're
play the Bengals on Monday Night Football.
Go
At
win
home.
that game and then get on a roll.